So how do Jews celebrate their holidays? Observant Jews do not work or travel on this Yom Tov or holiday. Shemini Atzeret is immediately followed by the joyous holiday of Simchat Torah, or rejoicing of the law, which is traditionally celebrated by dancing with Torah scrolls and singing hakafot, song of praise and gratitude.
This story is very related also to Sukkot. I think from a different side, like we're on the opposite side of the story, but it's also very mat'im to Sukkot, appropriate for Sukkot. So basically in Sukkot, so the pasuk says, "Moshcheni acharecha narutza, viani amelech hadarav, nagila v'nismecha ba." So the midrash is about the pasuk, "Moshcheni acharecha narutza" is Pesach. Pesach, like Hashem took us out from Egypt, and then it's like we didn't really do anything by ourselves. With Him also in the Simcha and also with the Etzed, but we're with Him. So that's the biggest Simcha in Sukkot is just being with Hashem. But still, we're with Hashem, so that's like the Simcha Gdola sheyesh b'Sukkot. And also in the Oshanot, you can see the Oshanot we're not asking Hashem Hoshana, but like Koshata Elim Belud Imach, like we're asking together with Hashem. You can see in the Oshanot are like together, like we're screaming with Hashem, like Latikun Shel HaMetziut. That's the idea of the Oshanot, and I think it's also very much as to our generation, our kufa. So we're in Israel, Baruch Hashem, Kibbutz Galuyot, Atchat Geula, in a very, very good situation. But it's not like Zeo Eganu, Imot HaMashiach Leganu. We still have a lot of hard things. We still have Pibuim the past few days, today, yesterday. Like we're not in a very like Yesh Kufot Kashot, Yesh Dvarim Kashim. But the big difference is Anachnu Im Hashem. Like so, we're screaming with Hashem. We're in a good place. We're in Eretz Yisrael. Like it's Yesh Simcha. So even with all the hard things and that we're ערבנה אדוני אלוהים גדולי תורתך בפינו ובפיות עמך בית ישראל. עניין, כולנו, אנחנו צאצאינו, צאצאינו, צאצאי עמך בית ישראל. כולנו, יודעי שמך ויודעי תורתך לשמה. ומבית תחכבני מצוותיך, כי לעולם היא לי. יהי ליבי תמים בחוקך למען לא אגוש. לעולם לא אשכח בכבודיך, כי גם חייתני. ברוך אתה אדוני, לומדים בחוקיך, אמן אמן אמן, סלע ועד. מודים אנחנו לפניך אדוני אלוהים אלוהינו, ששמת חלקנו יושב בית המדרש, ועזרת רגל ובחנות. אנו משכבים ואנו משכימים, אנו משכימים לדברי תורה. והם משכימים לדברים מטלים, אנו עמלים והם עולים. אנו עמלים קבלים שכר והם עמלים, ואינם קבלים שכר. אנו רוצים והם רוצים, אנו רוצים לחיי העולם הבא, והם רוצים לנהל שחת, שנאמר, אתה אלוהים תורידני ברשחת, אנשי גבי רומה, לא יצאו מהם, ואני אפתח בך. יהי רצון לפניך, אדוני אלוהי, כשם שעזרתני לסיים מסכת מכות, כן תעזרי לי להתחיל מסכתות וספרים אחרים ולתימם, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות, ולקיים כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. וזכות כל התנאים והארבעים, ולמנה קרתת ירושלים ושושלה יחלח בגבה, ולעקר פולחנה נוכל נורא, לעצור את פולחנה דשמיא, להקרב, ולמות ותריחו ונושא להתקרב, לעצמך ובין יתרם ושפט. וחיים פורנים ומחול וחי זכול בית ישראל, ועלה ובזמן קריב, ואימו אמן. אמן, נשתגע במחול להפירה ולהוויה. דבר מלחמה ותומה נתנשא, גזרה ותלה ותלה, שמת חופשה וריחו, לעילה, מכל אחד שרדת ושפחת נחמדת, העולם הגמור אמן. על ישראל לעולם ענן, תלמידו, ענן כל תלמידו, ענן כל מה שעסקינו, הייתה דיבה דרת, דמינו וכל השאר ויעתר, אלוהון וכל שעה, והחינם שזר, חמים חייר, חיים גדולים וחיים שזרים ודמו ונשמע יברה, אמן. יש לנו נצאים היה, לחיים טובים עלינו כל ישראל, במו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומה, ויעשה שלום עלינו על כל ישראל, במו אמן.
מזל טוב. Yeah.
Probably from here. Bills, yeah, טוב לנו. ממש אחלה כאן
Okay.
Thank you. Because there's no visiting cemeteries on Colombo Way, so we have this lovely venue for tonight. My mother passed away this evening, Yud Zayin Tishrei, 10 years ago. And, right. So I wanted to say that my mother loved the Chagim. She loved Sukkot, and as my brother reminded me, my mother asked my father to get 5 bunches of evergreens to staple on the roof. And he remembers my mother looking down and saying, "Well, you missed here, you missed there, there's the place." Because we know that a sukkah has to have rove tzeh, have mostly shade and light. So my mother was a charifa. She was in many, many years, the yahrzeit from my mom. And this year I wanted to have all the Yerushalayim chevra, so thank you all for coming. One of the best memories that I have of my mother when she came on Aliyah was holding a big orange placard at the entrance to Yerushalayim that said, Eretz Yisrael, La'am Yisrael, Al-Pi Torah Yisrael. With a lot of our kids with Gush Katif t-shirts. She also went to plant trees in Gush Katif. We even have a tree that Chava chose. It was a little plant. When we each got a plant to bring home from Gush Katif, and Chava survived, and that's the tree here. When you go out, you'll see the big tree. Okay. My mother also was busy organizing buses to New York City, to the UN, and to Wash on our block, but nobody else had a sukkah. Not because there wasn't room, not because there wasn't wood, but just they didn't know too much about it. So every sukkot she'd invite them in. She'd have the kids draw pictures and hang it up in our sukkah. She'd serve mizonot. They'd make a leshev basukkah and netilat lulav, and hopefully that also put a seed that hopefully sprouted about their Yiddishkeit. I grew up, I was born on Chaf Aleph Elul, so when I was a week or 10 days old or something like that, my mother gave me, which they don't allow today, a drop of honey on my tongue from Eretz Yisrael, and since then Eretz Yisrael has been very sweet in my life. And Baruch Hashem, I was zofa to meet Danny Weil, who also had Eretz Yisrael as his plan, place to live. And Baruch Hashem, we got married 2 weeks before medical school. 6 years later, after medical school and internship, and then an extra year where his Uncle David said, "You can't come without a Steinway." Piano. I'm sorry. And so he had to work on doctors on call for a year up and down Manhattan to make some money also for Rashi. And my grandmother had a tough labor. They didn't know she was carrying twins. And my mother came out second, 45 minutes after her twin breached. And my mother said as a result of that, she never knew her right from her left. But anyway, there was lots of, my grandfather, Olav Hashem, wasn't sure there'd be other children, so that's my understanding from my mother. I don't know other stories, but that's what I understood. I was taking a shiur with Rebbe, to conclude, I was taking a shiur with Rebbetzin Samet about honoring one's parents. And the end part of the lectures was how to honor parents posthumously. That's after 120. So she said, in order to honor them with thought, with speech, and with action,
unlike me, I would say when I got to my mother was chutzpah.
holy chutzpah.
No, that's what
No.
and I remember Tina talked about all the activism. She was co-opted doing asthma for the rabbis. On Friday to remind them to speak against asthma on Shabbat. She didn't care who they were, what they were. She was right. She was intimidated by anyone.
Right, she said, I'm not afraid of anybody or anything, only...
In fact, one day she told me, Woody Allen was your basketball. Woody Allen filming in Long Beach, a movie, and during the break she went to him and she said, Woody, what are you doing for our people?
Okay, did you catch that? Okay.
Went up to Woody Allen.
My mother saw Woody Allen filming when they in Long Beach, and she went over to him and said, Woody, what are you doing for our people?
And I think I got some of that from her. So I guess
Thank you so much for coming.
From a very young age, where she was helping her mother Yocheved spare Jewish children, throughout her entire lifetime, she was interested in the cloud and what she could do to better crisrael in the Midbar under difficult situations. And I mention that because that's how I picture our dear Aunt Mitchie, in the very same way. Aunt Mitchie had this certain quality about her. My mother used to refer to her as a youngster as Pee-wee backwards under the care of Aunt Esty, who was 6 years older than her. And then my mother, who was 4 years older than Aunt Mitchie, was in charge of Aunt Mitchie. And my mother always spoke fondly about the connection that she had.